I used to think that there is no way I could have this disease, and now I'm 95% sure I do. In fact, I'm having a bad flare-up today. Hashimoto's disease is a condition in which your immune system attacks your thyroid. The thyroid gland is part of the endocrine system, which produces hormones that coordinate many of your body's functions. Hashimoto's disease is the most common form of hypothyroidism, and it primarily affects middle-aged women, but it can also affect men and women of all age and even children. So I didn't used to think that I had Hashimoto's disease because one of the symptoms is a slower heart rate. And well, with my POTS, usually my heart rate is much higher. So I'm like, how could I have Hashimoto's disease? Hashimoto's disease can cause a heart rate to be 10 to 20 beats slower because without enough thyroid hormone, your body functions tend to slow down. But when I was first diagnosing myself with POTS, I did catch my heart rate way slow, and it scared me so bad that I gave myself anxiety and it caused my heart rate to go back up to normal. This disease normally progresses slowly over years and causes chronic thyroid damage, which leads to a drop in thyroid hormone levels in your blood. Symptoms include fatigue and sluggishness. Oh my goodness, I have been so tired for so many years, and this week I've been managing to go to bed at like 9:30. I wake up at 7:30. That's not as much sleep as you would think with all the tossing and turning I have. But it just doesn't seem to matter how much sleep I get. I just am so tired. Increased sensitivity to cold. Cold intolerance is more than just feeling chilly when it's cold out. You might find yourself feeling cold when those around you are comfortable or even too warm. Adding more layers is not going to necessarily relieve your feelings of being cold. It's also possible to experience parts of your bodies feeling cold, like your hands or your feet. Constipation is also another symptom, and yeah, I've suffered with this for years. Pale, dry skin. What do you think? Do I have pale skin? I've already mentioned on my channel that I have really dry skin and hair. A puffy face. Brittle nails. I have extremely brittle nails to the point where I taught myself how to do acrylic nails so I could have nails because they break, and I can't have nails unless I do fake ones. Hair loss. This is a big one for me. Over the last 6 to 7 years, I have been losing hair. And I'll see it come in waves. Sometimes I'll lose a lot of hair and sometimes I'll lose a little bit of hair. Hopefully I don't end up bald. Enlargement of your tongue. Unexplained weight gain. So currently, I don't really eat very much, and I stay about the same weight. But if I were to eat a normal diet with normal amounts of calories, I'm sure I'd start gaining weight. In fact, back in 2015 to 2016, I did gain about 25 pounds, and that caused me to become anorexic. I do plan on doing a video on this, so if you're interested, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss it. Muscle aches, tenderness, and stiffness. Last night was so rough, I could not sleep very good. Joint pain and stiffness. This one happens to me on a regular basis, and right now, this poor wrist has been so sore I had to wrap it. And the interesting thing is, most of the joint pain, like really bad, intense joint pain, is on the left side of my body. This is the side of my neck that gets really sore, and this is the wrist that usually always hurts. It's very interesting. I went to the chiropractor for relief, they couldn't help my neck. It was still sore after. Muscle weakness. So for us ladies, excessive or prolonged menstrual bleeding and horrible cramps. Another big symptom of Hashimoto's disease is fertility issues. I'm not so sure about this one for me because my tubes were tied, but I'm beginning to wonder about that. And the last few symptoms I want to touch on are depression and anxiety. Yep, definitely have those. Memory lapses and brain fog all the time. And high cholesterol. This is something that my doctor is wanting to test the next time I go to see her. So understanding flare-ups can help you stay in control and manage your symptoms better. Some common triggers are wheat and gluten. This bothers 7 in 10 people with this disease. Dairy. This affects 5 in 10 people. This one is becoming more and more of a problem for me. I am getting so sensitive. When I finally decided that I should not be having dairy anymore, it was after I had eaten only 3 little pieces of chocolate. 3. Chocolate has milk in it, and I had such an upset stomach later, I was like, I'm done. When I was at a birthday party, they were so sweet and they had gluten-free brownies because I am avoiding wheat and gluten. I had 1 gluten-free brownie. Oh my goodness. The storm raged so bad inside of me. I was so achy, joints and muscles and headaches, and I was so drowsy and fatigued. I could not sleep. No, never again. It's not worth it. Another common trigger is soy, and it affects 3 in 10 people, as well as alcohol affecting 3 in 10 people. So when you have a flare-up from Hashimoto's disease, you can get brain fog, fatigue and body aches, muscle and joint pain, low-grade fevers, cold intolerance, and malaise, which is a sense of just feeling unwell. Basically, it's a storm going on inside your body. That's pretty accurate because your body cannot tell the difference between its own cells versus foreign cells, so it begins to attack the body's normal cells. So a flare-up can feel like a normal symptom of Hashimoto's, just a bit more intense. And besides the food triggers that we talked about earlier, some other common triggers are stress, lack of sleep, nutrient deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, traumatic life events, or even viral infections. Keeping a log can help you pinpoint what personally triggers you. Let's talk about some ways to reduce the intensity and duration of your symptoms. Reduce your stress. Practice saying no to extra activities and responsibilities, and practice daily relaxation. Eat well. Limit or restrict the gluten, dairy, eggs, nuts, seeds, and grains in your diet. And enjoy nutrient-dense meals. Avoid overexerting yourself. I don't really need to tell you this one when you're feeling so fatigued and awful, but maybe I do. You have my permission to take it easy. Try walking or stretching to avoid increasing or extending the severity of your flare-up. So obviously, make rest a priority. It can be hard to get good quality of sleep, so listen to your body when it's ready to rest and do it. Did you know? If you have the following, you're at a higher risk of developing Hashimoto's disease. 5 in 10 people had low vitamin D levels before they were diagnosed. 5 in 10 people had at least one other family member who were diagnosed with Hashimoto's. 6 in 10 have at least one other family member diagnosed with any other autoimmune disease. And 6 in 10 who were diagnosed with Hashimoto's were born in the spring months. I was born in April. Living with chronic illness like Hashimoto's is a lifelong approach to learning and balancing healthy diet, getting adequate rest, and reducing stress. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. and I hope you are well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. I used to think there was, hold on, I forgot, I need to get my headset. Oh shoot, it feels so good laying here. I don't want to get up now. Oh my gosh, there's a damn gnat in here. Why did I hit record? I'm not quite ready.